Good morning, good morning, good morning, beauties. Hello to you wherever you are. How is your mood today? What are your feeling tones? What is your weather report? What storms or calm is in your particular radically embodied landscape today? Yeah, checking in always, always down and in, down and in. We can't know how we are feeling, how you are feeling, if you're checking to see how you feel by going up and out first, right? Turning things on, listening to other people's voices. Perhaps music might be the one thing that would be, well, music is never neutral, but you're not having somebody tell you, here's what's happening today. Here's what's going on right now. This is what's important, right? So down and in, into your own amazing corporation. And I'm saying that with a complete awareness because I love words. And inside of corporation is the word corp, C-O-R-P, body, right? Again, like I was saying and speaking to last time about sovereignty, becoming the leader of your own landscape, your own country, right? So incorporating yourself would speak to your own awareness of your own body, and that it is the registering of everything that is happening. Of course, we have this thing called consciousness, which nobody can put their finger on. Some of us, and I think you are included here, understand that it is all a field of consciousness. And we are popping up like little wavelets, like little waves in the ocean of consciousness as individual expressions of consciousness. To be conscious of yourself, to understand that you are self-aware, to live the examined life is part of this stream of consciousness moment that we are in, right? We are awakening in great numbers to the deep understanding that we humans and everything else, we are all connected in one ocean of consciousness, and we are popping up as expressions of that great creative, beautiful force, right? So this morning, what was flowing through, and based on my own experience and the experience of clients and the experience of the world around me, is this issue or this state of being called addiction, right? Addiction. There are so many ways to become addicted. What does it mean to be addicted, to be in the throes of addiction, right? To some people, they would hear that word and they think, oh, that's somebody who is shooting up heroin, right? Who wakes up in the morning and starts to drink alcohol and doesn't stop, right? Yes, and, right? Yes, and. Things that we do repeatedly where we feel out of control of those gestures, right? And we can use the word gesture because our body is reaching for something, right? The mind says you need this, but the body has already created hormones that are in response to what is described by the mind as a need. And so addiction is pervasive all over the place at this moment in time. So one of the main addictions would be, right, this little object that's sitting in front of me right now. And you might have, that might be what you're looking at right now, is the phone, right? And the surface of the phone, right? They've done enough studies now, we know this. The actual act of doing this with your finger, right? Stroking the surface of the phone, what we call scrolling, right, is a physiological, it has an effect on your hormones. It has an effect on your dopamine pulses, right? And as we know, with any other kind of addiction to any other kind of drug, after you do it enough, whatever the addiction is, the body needs more of the action of the substance to produce the feeling that you've become used to and addicted to, right? It's a loop, just like thoughts, right? Addiction, we can become addicted to thoughts, to certain thought patterns. So there are, and I'm going to always emphasize this, but not in a kind of us and them way. You know this, right? You can feel this. All of you, all of us, highly sensitive, finely tuned, beautiful, embodied souls, we're finely tuned to incoming energetics, right? Which is everything. So when there's a concerted effort on the part of some individuals, corporations, governmental structures, etc., to do this, right? Here, listen to this. Listen to this. Look at this. Look at that, right? Coaxing. I've studied, hypnotherapy to the, third degree, and hypnosis is simply utilizing your own self-hypnosis, right? All hypnosis, as we say, is self-hypnosis, right? Our willingness to be coaxed and called into that deep subconscious place, right, where we start receiving imprints, yeah? And in a hypnotherapy session, we recover imprints, and we might speak of this recovery of past lives, of early memories that we have subdued, but our body might be showing the effects of, right, pains or, yeah, but we can't remember the story, right? Hypnosis, hypnotherapy supports us in pulling those things up. And then there is the hypnosis, right? The sleep, the effects of concerted efforts on the part of some individuals, some corporations, some government structures who are not in their right minds. They're under a spell as well, right? The spell of, I'm not going to diverge off into a big giant story. You know the story of the destructiveness of late stage capitalism, right? Gone mad, yeah? We can say that, right? It's gone mad. There's an insanity level to it. And some folks are not in their right minds, right? And they are just cultivating the idea of more is better. And whatever we need to do to evoke more, we will do it. Yeah? So, addiction, back to addiction. The first step is to simply have a conversation, right? Like a conversation like this about addiction. Have a conversation with friends. Have a conversation with yourself. What does it mean to you to be addicted to something? For me, it's that feeling, and having walked through the pathways of various addictions in my past, right? It's that compulsive physical urge, right? Where the mind keeps saying to the body, you need this thing. You have to do this. Yeah? It's a loop. Talk about loops all the time. So first of all is the conversation, the noticing, which I would call the pause, right? Just in that same set here of reminders of the practice, right? You can take the practice into every single aspect of your life. Pause. Lean back. Breathe, slow the breath down. Embody, right? Return, ground in, down and in. Then do it again. Pause, thinking on addiction, feeling into, okay, what is this thing that's pulling me? If you can pause and lean back and slow your breath down, conscious breathing, always with that open mouth exhale with some sound, you start producing some oxytocin. You start producing, interestingly enough, the effect that your body had been receiving by way of the addiction. Okay, and I'm speaking specifically to these addictions to devices, to listening to other people, disseminating fear and anxiety. Really returning to yourself. The message here is always the same. Sovereignty, self-management, love of yourself, returning to your body, returning to your sacred holy vessel, and remembering yourself, away from the grips of distraction, from the grips of organized effects on your body, mind, and spirit, of hubris, of greed, right? The organized effects. And they are organized. Okay, there's nothing disorganized about the attempts to harness our attention. They're not casual about it. So don't be casual about taking back your own power. Okay? It takes real effort. And it's worthy, right? It takes that discipleship, that discipline to call yourself back to yourself and remember yourself as the brilliant, amazing, beautiful genius that you are. Right? I don't use those terms lightly. If you're here and you are in the body and you have walked through some time on earth, 20 years, 30 years, right? You, 40, 50, 60, on and on. You have brilliance and genius within you based on your experiences in the world. Now you can become conscious of that. Bring that in. Pull that in. Pause. Breathe. Lean back. Embody. Resource yourself. Capital S. What is your source? Your source is not this phone. Yes, it's a wonderful tool. You understand that. There are things here that can nourish you, right? That nourishment word. We're going to use that over and over again. Is it nourishing? Right? When you have paused and leaned back away from the urgency of the addiction, when you've breathed and done your breathing long enough to find some oxytocin happening in your body, and drop down into your body, then you can start that beautiful conversation. Wow, is this nourishing? Right? The urge will come in again. Leaning back, pausing, breathing, embodying, dropping in, having a conversation with yourself, calling in from your source. What is your source? Where are you sourcing? What beats your heart at night? What circulates your blood? What spins this planet? Right? What is your source? Okay? It's something ineffable. It's something beyond words. We can point to it. We can have conversations about it. We can write poetry, sing beautiful songs, make beautiful paintings. Yes, follow the beauty way of the mystery. Yes, become a purveyor of beauty. not just a consumer. And when I say a purveyor of beauty, right, you walking down the street with your beautifully organized consciousness, knowing that you belong, that you are rooted in, that you are held by something greater than just this chaotic noise, allows you to turn toward others, to beam your light with a smile. That is walking the beauty way. You are being art. You are walking as art. Your voice will have a quality in it that will affect others in a beautiful way. And you will feel nourished, and you will be spreading nourishment. So, assessing the field of beauty on behalf of breaking addictions, right? Resourcing yourself, and then becoming a resource to others, to the world, to the planet, in the simplest ways imaginable, right? Reaching out, inviting in. When you're feeling resourced, when you're feeling that you've cultivated this feeling of strength, connecting with and sharing with others does not feel like a drain, because you aren't doing anything. You are being something because you feel the truth of your own resourcing. And it is a practice. You don't just do it once. Pause, lean back, breathe, embody. That's it. Okay, good. I'm done. No. It's a constant, and beautiful practice. Right? It doesn't take anything from you to do this practice. It gives to you. It nourishes me, right? You may find that it nourishes you. The only way you can find out is if you try and you practice. Not try, if you practice. And keep doing it, right? Really remember to allow your jaw to drop, open your lips, and let that AHHH sound come through you, tumbling forward with sound. And you start to expand. You start to release yourself into your body. Yeah? Let me know. Yeah, if you practice a few times today. Right? And we can shed the addictions. I understand that with really severe addictions to substances, having walked that path in my past, it's serious and it takes work and it's hard. I'm not taking it lightly. Okay? And sometimes, we need organized support. But start with your practice. Okay, just see if you can create a pause for yourself. Okay, sending so much love, so much big love, so much big, big love. Talk soon.